Hey, what is up you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Cherie here, and today is a very exciting episode and also a very important one, if not one of the most important videos that you will watch related to NUS, because today we'll be talking about how to graduate. And I get it, you want to grad, I also want to grad, we all want to graduate, and there's a specific way to do it. Make sure you watch till the end of the video, because over there I'll be sharing with you my bonus resource that I personally created for you guys. So it's my own personal academic module planning sheet, and you can feel free to make a copy of it, duplicate it, and also just add in your own details and print it out as and when you like. If you haven't caught the video on everything that you should know about NUS, as well as the intro video, if you haven't actually watched the video last week, you're definitely missing out. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because then you'll be notified about my next episode where I'm sharing with you everything about how to calculate your CAP, everything related to grades and examinations. With that being said, I'm very excited to kick off this episode. Okay, so the most important thing for you to note about how to graduate is to be very aware of the curriculum that you are undertaking. If you are in a different faculty, do make sure that you find your own curriculum that is applicable to you. You want to make sure that you are referring to the correct curriculum. And the reason why I say that is because I don't want you guys to make any kind of the same mistakes I did. For probably like a month or two, I was referring to the wrong curriculum, I believe, at one point of my time when I was in year 1. A bit embarrassing, but essentially you want to see the numbers carefully. Okay, so now that you know the correct curriculum, now I'm going to go through the program requirements with you, just in my particular scenario. This video may sound a little bit confusing, but I promise it's really not. And again, you want to make sure you watch till the end of the video, where I go through my entire bonus resource with you guys. After clicking on Curriculum AY 2017/2018 onwards, this is what you will see over here. And you realize that the first thing they share is the program requirements, so let me just read it out to you guys. So under the new BBA 2017/2018 program, students are enrolled directly into an honours program, which they can withdraw if they wish. Students are required to complete 160 modular credits to graduate. So definitely do remember the number 160 MCs to graduate. Okay, so under the 160 MCs, this can actually be broken down into a few different parts. And I'm going to be highlighting the key portions so that you will be aware of them, so please do take note. Okay, the first thing you need to do is actually your university level requirements. This actually basically means GE modules, which stands for General Education Modules, and you will need to do 5 modules worth a total of 20 MCs. So generally speaking, you need to take 5 GE modules that are worth 4 MCs each to make up your 20 MCs. And in NUS specifically, we have GEH, GET, GES, GEQ, and GER. So in no specific order, but you basically need to take all these 5 modules for you to graduate. First, you have your Biz Core modules. So this is arguably the most important things you need to do. So as a BBA student, your core modules are essentially made up of 13 modules worth 50 MCs. So these modules in general will allow you to have kind of like a bundle introductory package into business as a whole. So you'll be doing Fin modules, you'll be doing marketing modules, you'll be doing M&O modules, operations management modules, and all kinds of fun stuff. So this will definitely get you exposed to many different things. So for instance, for me, I have no exposure to anything related to accounting and economics until I actually joined the NUS. So this is definitely a very important part of your program and also your exposure. So right now I'm actually going to be going through the core modules for the business degree program that all BBA students have to go through. So those modules are basically TAO 1704, TAO 2702, BSP 1703, BSP 2701, ACC 1701, BSP 1702, MKT 1705, MNO 1706, FIN 2704, TAO 2703, MNO 2705, BSP 3701, ES 2002. So these are the core modules that you need to take. Again, your faculty will definitely have your own core modules that you have to take, and those are probably the most important. if you are specializing in something would be your biz specialization modules. So this is also based on your own individual preference and also career path that you have. For myself, I'm going to be using marketing as an example. I need to take 6 modules worth a total of 24 MCs. So essentially, I need to take 6 modules that are worth 4 MCs each to make up 24 MCs. And more specifically speaking, 2 of the modules are actually the modules that they have chosen for me, which means that I have to do them, and the other 4 modules can be any 4 chosen from a long list of marketing elective modules. So the third kind of modules you need to do is actually your honours program modules. So for this one, it's actually 5 modules worth a total of 20 MCs. All students are enrolled into the honours program with the option to redraw and also complete a basic degree if they wish to. So to pursue the honours program, students are required to have obtained a minimum CAP score of 3.2 upon completion of 100 MCs or more. It is assumed that all eligible students will continue with the honours program unless they opt to graduate without honours by applying for graduation at the beginning of their graduating semester. So please do take note if you don't wish to take an honours. I think this is very important for you to note, and you don't want to be taking extra modules by accident because you didn't know that you had to redraw, so do note. So you have first the research option. You can write a dissertation for 12 MCs in the area of a specialization. 2 advanced independent study modules are not related to the dissertation research area worth 8 MCs, or a field service project. Okay, number 2 is basically the coursework option. 3 level 4K business modules in area of specialization, basically 12 MCs, and a field study project, 8 MCs. Also do note about your FSP. So the FSP is team-based. The module will add relevance to students' learning and will provide them the opportunity to serve and contribute to real businesses, social enterprises, and not-for-profit entities. The module is therefore values-based while focused on relevance. Students can only read FSP module once. Unrestricted elective modules that should be worth 46 MCs. So the long story short of everything is that if you take a total of 160 MCs minus everything else, you should be getting your number of UE module MCs, and that should be all totaled up to 46 MCs. And to be more specific, the proper definition of your UE modules, students are highly encouraged to pursue a second specialization, major or minor, with unrestricted elective modules. Under this component, students may take any module to fulfill their unrestricted elective modules requirement. That is, they may take modules offered by the business school and/or modules offered outside the school to fulfill this requirement. I also want to hop in here and add that there are so many interesting UEs. For instance, there's one about pirates, there's one about Disney, there's one about making coffee. There's so many fun UEs that you can definitely take to expose yourself to any area of interest before you enter the working world. Isn't this incredible? And another thing is that for me, I personally like to take language modules because I find languages such an important skill, and by right, if you went outside, you would have to pay a lot to go into a language class. So I just thought that learning a language is also an awesome way to use up your UEs. Another thing that people like to do is that they like to either pick modules they are very interested in, or they prefer to pick modules that they believe they'll score better in order to bring up their grades in a total. Okay, moving on, I'm going to talk about non-credit graduating requirements. So basically what you need to know over here is that you will be more well-versed into Microsoft, into Excel, into calculus, into statistics, into understanding how businesses work, and also how to prep your resume and also your interview skills. To me, arguably, they're actually one of the more important modules because they tell you about the fundamental business structure, how the business world works. It also shares with you a lot of resume and important interview tips, so definitely do take note. Okay, so the modules that you have to take under your non-credit graduating requirements are BPM 1701, Calculus and Statistics, BPM 1702, Microsoft Excel and PowerPoint for Business, and this is very important. You also need to take BPM 1705, Understanding How Business Works. You also need to take Career Creation Starter modules, which are basicR 1000, Career Creation Starter Workshops, and STR 2000, Career Creation Starter Clinics. Again, don't worry if you didn't catch everything because at the end, do refer to my bonus resource to help you. Another thing to note is by right. Okay, so by right, there's also the Global Immersion and Study. This component ensures all students receive direct and significant international exposure through participation in overseas experiences. This may be a semester abroad, an overseas internship, a case competition, or a study trip. Participation in both internal NUS led trips as well as external approved trips will enable students to better prepare for the global economy. So now I do understand that there's COVID-19, so this may be probably most likely cancelled, so just do take note for your own curriculum whether it's required or not. And as promised, do stay tuned for my bonus resource because over here I am sharing with you all my wealth of knowledge and also my own personal NUS academic module planning sheet that you can take home and run away with. Especially if you are a BBA student, I really just laid it out for you guys, so let's roll the footage. As promised, here is the bonus resource that you must have been waiting for. So this is my own personal NUS academic module planning sheet, and I've really packed as much information as I can in this planning sheet. Don't worry because I will be setting this link such that anyone can view, and please feel free to share it with anyone, I really don't mind. So now I'll be guiding you through the entire sheet step by step, so don't worry at all if it looks a little bit overwhelming. It's really not. So for the first tab, we have module planning. So this is essentially the best step for you to just put in all the modules that you know you need to complete by the end of your graduation. And for instance, over here, these are the non-credit modules that I need in order for me to graduate, so I put it over here. And then over here, these are my core modules that I need as a BBA business student in order for me to graduate once again. And over here are my specialization modules for me to get my marketing specialization. So for myself, these two modules were somewhat compulsory, and over here I've actually chosen 4 modules out of an entire list of modules. And these are the 4 that I've chosen that I have committed to and also completed already. Over here, because I am an NUS Overseas Colleges student, these were the modules that I have taken. One of the modules over here is what I used in exchange for my FSP, so later I'll be going through it, or also you can watch the video where I later teach you guys how I actually map modules for NOC. And over here, these are the modules that I need to take as part of the Business Leadership Development Program modules. So these two were somewhat compulsory, and then I can choose any one module, and I have chosen this one. So this is just a very good bird's eye view that's very easy to make and not too difficult. Again, later I'll be providing links, so don't panic, make sure you watch till the end because that will answer all your questions as to how I filled up all the modules over here. Now the second tab is another way to visualize everything. So it's very similar to the first tab, however now I've added all the modular credits or the MCs to make sure that everything adds up perfectly. If something is in bright yellow, it means that I have not completed the module yet and I definitely need to take it in my next semester. Over here for my Biz Core modules, if you add everything up, it actually gives me 50 MCs, so it looks about correct. For my specialization modules, I have to take about 24 MCs, so it's awesome, it's correct. For my general education modules, I have to take up 20 MCs, so it's correct. For my honours program modules, I've taken up these 2 modules, and these 2 modules I have not done yet. And yes, they add up to 20 MCs, which is awesome. Another thing to note is that this is the module that actually subs for my FSP, so just FYI, if you are intending to take the NOC Singapore program, this is good for you to know. Another thing is that for your unrestricted elective modules, over here, I've taken most of them, but I have not taken, this module over here, and all of them should add up to 46 MCs. And if you look carefully, a lot of the modules over here from NOC are my UEs. So this is just a very good overview of what to expect if you're a student. So if you're not going to NOC, these will be modules that are not in your core, not in your specialization, not in any of these buckets over here. And if you are a non-NOC student, another thing to note is that your FSP will be your FSP. So that's just good for you to know. If you look carefully over here, I've actually written the requirements from the school so that it's very easy for me to make sure that I have completed everything. And here's my checklist. So again, at a glance, I can see that I have completed my BizCore, my specialization and general education modules. So now moving on to the third tab. So you can see that it looks like a lot of things, but it's really not. So the middle portion over here, this is actually just all the modules that I have already completed from my own year 1 sem 1 to year 4 sem 1. So just FYI, I actually matriculated when I was AY 2017/2018, so that's when I started. You just want to put this over here so that you know exactly what modules you're taking every single semester. And you can also see when you overload or when you underload. So for me, I actually overloaded a lot in my year 1 and year 2. I was really just chilling and having a lot of fun. So this is just very helpful for you. For year 4, sem 2, these are the modules that I need to complete. So this will help to keep me on track. And as you can see, for my last semester, I only need to complete 3 credit-bearing modules. And also, I need to definitely complete my non-credit bearing module over here, which is STR 2000. So that being said, I actually did a quick summary. So my MCs completed should be 148, and then the MCs that I need to complete soon would be 12, which would make up a total of 160 MCs. So it's very, very, very important for you to know that you need 160 MCs, at least as a BBA student with honours, for you to graduate happily. And again, this is just a very good bird's eye view of what is happening right here. Now, moving on to the 4th tab, this tab is going to be extremely important for you. Feel free to duplicate the other tabs by clicking this file button and then make a copy and then do your spazaz and whatever you want with it. But for links over here, you definitely want to keep referring to them. There are 7 links that I put over here that I find very, very important for any BBA student. If you're not in the BBA degree, no worries, just find your own links. I'm so sorry. Yeah, find your own links for your own faculty and you are good to go. Another thing is that I found it very, very helpful for me to give, a summary. So it's just a very good explanation of what to expect from each link. And also, over here, I put a screenshot for our visual friends so that it'll be easy for you to see at a glance what to expect from these links. So now let's just get started to the first link. So for the first link, you can actually expect to see a very good overview of the curriculum. As I mentioned in my video, make sure that you're on the correct academic year, and then you can actually proceed to see all your general requirements that you need for you to graduate, including your honours program requirements and also your graduating requirements and also advanced placement credits and exemptions and student course code. So for the second link, this is your module registration overview workflow. So this is actually a very, very helpful graphic for you to know exactly what to do at any point of time at the start of any semester. So especially if you're a freshie, this can be very, very confusing, but I feel like this graphic is a perfect representation of what you need to do. So the first thing you need to do is to just submit your academic plan. If you have my sheet over there, it should be no problem for you. After that, you need to make sure that you know your degree requirements. Again, if you looked at the first link, this should be no problem for you. And right now, you need to make a timetable. So later, I'll be going through a few links, and also there'll be a video coming up where I teach you step by step how to build your timetable. So make sure you subscribe so that you know when that video comes out. And after that, you need to start, submitting your modules for registration via ModReg. And then after that, you want to make sure that you've calculated all your MCs to be correct. If you're using my sheet, again, it should be no problem and you should know all the MCs that you should be having. And then after that, let's just say you don't get your module, you want to make sure that you submit appeals. So later, I'll be going through very briefly of how some of the links will help with this whole entire process, so fret not. Also, if you scroll down actually, it shows you a very good representation of how the different systems actually intertwine into one ecosystem over here. So it all starts with ModReg, and then it moves on to the staging, and then it moves on to EduReg, and then at the end of all your bidding processes, it moves on to Luminous or Lumi NUS. Luminous is basically for you to see all your files from your prof and everything like that. But right now, we're definitely focusing much more on this process over here. So it also tells you a little bit more about priority scores and tiebreakers, and more specifically, it actually shares with you a lot about what happens in round 1, round 2, and round 3. So this is definitely something that's very, very important to look at and will be very, very helpful for you, especially if you're new to this entire thing. It also tells you a lot more about how to bid for your tutorials and things like that. It also teaches you how to drop classes, because sometimes you take a class and you don't like it anymore, you can definitely drop it, no worries at all. And then if you need to appeal, you can refer to this link over here. Okay, so now this link is actually a ModReg FAQ. It's a very, very good consolidation of everything that you need to know regarding NUS related academic activities.
such as the plagiarism warning, the academic culture, the NUS honor code, respective course outlines or module outlines, other module registration related links, FSP or field service project, and your honours dissertation. So this link is actually a very helpful consolidation of many other links. So it may not look like it because it looks very short and sweet, but it's linked to many other links that you definitely want to take a look if you are curious. So another thing over here is that this is the help email, and this lad will be answering all your questions regarding modules, so please do email him if you have any questions regarding swapping modules or registering for modules. If you have any questions about SU, you can definitely check it out here. If you have any question about your GE modules, you can check it out here. And basically it also links you to NUS mods and all your module outlines and everything. It also tells you a lot more about your FSP as well as your honours dissertation. So this link is very helpful for me. So now moving on to the fourth link, this is your modules list. So essentially what you need to know is that this link is essentially a link of all your updated modules. So this is very important because many of the time, as you can see every single semester, some modules will change and everything will be reflected here. So especially if you want to see whether your module still exists and is still functioning, definitely click on this drop down menu so that you can see everything in detail. Now the next link is also extremely important, and I will be diving deeper into NUS mods in another video where I teach you how to build your timetable specifically. However, this link is actually very helpful for you to research on the modules. And as I mentioned previously, you can actually see over here that you need to make sure that you fulfill the prerequisites, you want to make sure that it's on the correct semester, you want to make sure that the workload is something doable, and that you're okay with this, no exams and everything like that. And after that, you can proceed to building your timetable over here. Again, do not worry because I'll be going through an entire video on how to build your timetable when the time is right. So right now, to be honest, a lot of the modules are not updated yet. As you can see, it's really not updated right now. So just give me a moment, and when it's updated, I promise you I will definitely create a video teaching you how to build your timetable. So right now, no worries about that at all. Your mod reg schedule. So I found that this link is actually very important. So you want to click on mod reg schedule because every sem there's going to be a new schedule. So the coming sem is 2020 to 2021, so definitely refer to this link for you to see when round 0 opens, when you'll get your results for the outcome of your round 0, when round 1 opens, when round 2 opens, when round 3 opens, and then later you can proceed to selecting your tutorials and swapping your tutorials, and you can also proceed to also appealing for different modules. So last but not least, we actually have this link over here. So this is actually a very detailed instruction manual for module registration on ModReg. And if you're someone that's a lot more visual like me, I'm a very visual creature as you can see, I think this is actually a very helpful resource that will teach you exactly what to click at any point of time for you to see your rounds, for you to see if it was successful or not, for you to swap your tutorials, for you to bid for your tutorials, etc. Everything that you need to know about ModReg is literally over here, and I think it's very convenient, so I'm very appreciative for this user guide. So definitely do refer to it. Make sure that you actually make a copy and then do whatever you need to do. So please comment down below what you liked about this sheet, or if you have any questions, and I'll be more than happy to read them and answer them if I can. Or if you have any ideas or comments, or if I wrote something wrongly, please do comment on my YouTube video because I always check my comments on my YouTube video, and I would really genuinely appreciate it. So now that being said, I have run through my entire bonus resource. I really hope that this video was helpful for you. So thank you so much.
If you are following this module planning sheet, definitely I think you're on the right path. So thank you so much for watching this video. I feel like this video is just extremely important, and I feel like I cannot emphasize enough how much I wish someone shared this with me when I was a freshie, because I was absolutely lost and losted and everything like that. And I hope that this gives you some kind of assurance, at least just coming from a senior. I really hope to catch you on my next episode where I share with you about everything that you need to know about calculating your CAP, about how grades work in NUS and things like that. So definitely do hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell so that you know every single time that I post. So love you guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you the next episode.